need to get a glass of water. Stay hydrated. Okay. That's good. It's nice and cold. I wonder how cold it is in that room. I don't have to put the pizza in the refrigerator.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You really enjoy it.
Being a good dog. I'm gonna wait just a couple. I'll eat some candy. This is good candy. It's that freeze-dried Skittles.
Skittles?
Only it's got that flour infused in it. How are you today, Ma?
I'm very good today.
You staying warm?
Yeah.
It's freaking freezing 7,000 feet up in northern New Mexico.
Boy, that's
So cold out there. I hate it. I did manage to get out of the house for about an hour today.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Wrapped up some business at the park.
The business?
Yeah. I was going to go walk around. Nah.
A lot of people.
I ordered us pizza instead at Chaloops. They're our favorite.
Chaloops?
Chaloops, because then I can order from Chaloops and then I can run across the street and get a couple of things at the market while I'm waiting for our order.
That'll make a lot of difference.
And then and then by the time I'm done, I can go back across the street and people watch for a couple minutes. Good boy, Benny. You're a good dog. Good boy. He's been extra emotional. Dogs are sensitive.
Very.
People are sensitive. They just do things to dull their sensitivities. As I eat these infused candies. If a flower from a plant is the only medicine that I do after all that my body has been through, I would consider that to be an example. When so many people are on like, dude, there's people at high school that I went to high school with. They already got a full set of fake teeth.
Really?
And they're only 50. People don't know how to take care of their bodies. They're too busy satisfying it. It's got to be a balance. Everything is about balance. All right. As much as I could stand here and eat this whole darn package, I'm going to put those over there. So Mom gets the vegetable personal. It's so cute. The pizza is good.
The pizza is?
I'm going to do a mini commercial for Chaloops. I'll be right back.
Chaloops, don't get lost.
Okay, this is going to make the dogs go crazy.
Oh.
Probably. But Mom gets the mini... Ooh, what's that? Zucchini. Mom gets the mini veggie. And then you don't feel like a big old heifer pumpernickel when you eat the whole thing. No, I'm kidding. When we eat like half of it, because it's like a piece of pizza. And I get the equivalent, the supreme, so to speak. So... that'll be breakfast tomorrow too, huh, Ma?
Yeah.
Just kidding. We're going to be doing oatmeal.
Oatmeal. Oh, oatmeal's
We like oatmeal for breakfast.
Yeah, that's
When winter comes inside our house.
so healthy. Yeah.
It's good for the poop chute.
Poop shoot.
All right. I wonder if Hollywood didn't exist. If Hollywood didn't exist, would people still imagine like the catastrophic events that were in the end time movies? Or are we creating them now because the seers saw this stuff when we were little and we always imagined it, and then the doers are unfolding it? Because we're seeing things that are happening in real life that we grew up watching in all the catastrophic movies that I ever saw, and I'm one of those. I watched a lot of media.
Media.
Like that's all we had.
Yeah. That was.
Was TV, and I grew up on like Turner classic movies and stuff. Like it's all programming, and then we create reality out there based on the programming that we have within inside each and every one of us. Here, Benny. There you go. Sometimes they just gotta feel special.
Special. Yeah.
You know?
Moving on.
So, as I've been talking about for the last near 8 years, that if people don't start going within, finding their aptitude for humanity, and do actions every day to expand that, things are going to move towards the better, or they're going to live more towards ego, and it's more going to be like, in the fucking days, and here we are, you know? Like, so many people are sad. I was thinking about that. Like, I mean, I've struggled a lot in my life. There's been a lot of times that because mom's always had a faith. She's always believed in her perception of God. I can't tell you what her perception of God is. I just know that she's always had us pray, and yet we were called to use our intuitive devices, so to speak. You know, yes or no's, you know, our psychic tools. So we've had a pretty interesting life. And all the work that I did, all the stuff I didn't want to do, all the days that I wanted to lay down and do nothing, and I did the thing I needed to do to get to where I wanted to go. All the while going, can I get some help? And people looking at me, ignoring me, and going on about their life. And I can't, and thinking the whole time, like, God, this is just going to happen to more and more people.
More and more.
More and more, and it like spreads like the nothing on the never-ending story, and because people have nothing to give inside, because they're too busy. I gotta take this to make myself feel better, and I gotta take this, and I gotta do this, and I gotta buy this big stupid expensive truck, and I gotta buy this car, that racy car that, you know, it's just, you know, your mother's heartbreak waiting to happen. Just self-will and indulgence. So all the decades I've been calling for. I mean, I remember going to the camp counselor when I was 15 and asking him to call CPS to have them have me placed in a place that I would be safe.
Oh.
Because my mom had a boyfriend that tried to kill her, and he threatened to kill me too.
Whoa.
And so he just chalked me off as being one of them emotional females. All he had to do to follow through is call the RPD to verify what just happened, you know. I was 15 the first time I looked down the barrel of a 45 belonging to a police officer. See, I never know, like, I've had all these important people with badges fucking pointing guns at me and stuff, and I don't do things that are wrong, so I'm like, I don't look at them as the fucking good guy. See? I just had an encounter not too long ago with the frickin' machismo. Because they look for that mentality, and then that's the mentality that fucking has been hassling me my whole life. They're the same mentality as like my brother and my dad. You could pile all the guys that, and women too, because women can think like that if they're, you know, caught up in their masculine energy. They can go around, you know, flexion their I can do that because I got a lot of masculine energy. If I'm not careful, that's why I got to keep it balanced. Keep it nice and light. Don't lose your temper. I'm like the little Incredible Hulk. I am literally a military experiment. I'll try not to get mad. I try so hard. And people see, and then I'm like processing, and so I'll smile, and then people think I'm dumb. And then they treat me accordingly, like they think I'm dumb. And I'll let anybody, you know, I don't, they think they're using me. I'm just being generous because I know what they're up to. Because I don't have to be generous. I don't have to share. I don't have to, you know, I don't have to do anything. Because I could be like everybody else that is just all holed up and closed up in their own lives, just going around. It is so weird what planet Earth is to me. I don't know. I think maybe the government knows maybe I'm an alien, and they're just like, dude, don't let her know that we know that she don't know. Because like tracks like, and I was always into Star Wars. I was never a Star Trek fan. I thought it was kind of silly. But I know it has its place, and it has its vibrational frequency too. I grew up in the 70s when Star Wars came out. You're a good boy. You want to go over here? You getting tired? Come here. He can't get to where he wants to be because Luna's a scary lady. Come here, Benny. Come here, Benno. Come here. Wanna go here? Good boy. I had to put the electric blanket on the bed for like a sheet last night because we're just sequestered back here in this room until spring. That's just what it is.
Spring, yeah.
Good boy, Benny. He said, "Thank you, Margie, for understanding Benny's emotions." You're a good boy, Benny. I think Benny's a Gemini.
He's a good dog.
He's a G-Mini.
G-Mini.
Yeah, he has the twins. He looks like two different dogs on one side. You're a good boy, Benny. See if he's gonna come right back now. Okay. Where was I? Hi, my name's Marge. I'm a Hale empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. And then I had a realization today. Like, people don't get what this is all about. They don't. I am so misunderstood, I tell you that. You know what? If anything, I am misunderstood. There's this guy that drives through town. And he has all these big stickers of all these, you know, just it's his minivan is covered with stickers. And I saw him, and I've been thinking that if I see him, I want to talk to him and offer him one of my stickers. My Straight People Like Rainbows 2 stickers. And so I ran into him, like, I don't know, a week or two ago, whatever it was. Go on, Benny. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Good boy. Just nice and easy. Nice and easy. We don't need no old dogs breaking no hips. And I offered him one, and he took. If people don't want my shit, just say, no thanks, I'm good. I'd rather somebody be, like, abrasive and cold and, you know, shut me down than take my shit and it ends up in the garbage. People are going to do however they are, and like attracts like. So all I could do is put stuff up out there, and people pick it up or put it down, and then that tells me who I'm in alignment with. And as people know that have been watching for a while, I haven't really been in alignment with that many people. Oh, here's one of my stickers right here. But I gave him a 3-inch, and then I saw him at the store today, and I explained to him, like, this is like my version of the rainbow. I came up with the, you know, all this stuff, and people act like they're so receptive, but they're just better liars than I can tune it, that I can pick up on. And I saw the van today at work at the grocery store, and I walked around that thing for a while, and I'd know my sticker, like, it would pop out. It would be amongst a sea of, like, nothing, because it would pop out to me, and I walked, and he didn't, you know. So I'm like, just lets me know who's not for me, you know. I may not know who is for me in, like, real life, but I know who's not. So at least I listen to my senses, my discernment, and I don't know. We stay in pretty good standing, in pretty good position, and it's winter, so I don't even like going out unless I absolutely have to anyway. So a lot like let's see, things that are gonna happen as a result of natural disasters. The people that aren't gonna stay there, they're gonna trickle out to other places. So America ain't as big as people. See, because there's so many wide open spaces where there's people that aren't. Because population is segregated. Here, Benny, just lay right there, buddy. You can have the fluffy spot. There you go. He'll settle down in a minute. Good boy. Good boy. And so every time, especially with that is much population, I guess they were like, I'm like, okay, so let me look how big this fire is. And I was looking at it, and now the last time I looked at the size, it was this morning, and it said like 10,000 acres. Whoa. Okay? Now, 3 years ago, like April, it's around my birthday. That was scary. It got pretty, it was right up over the ridge, like you could see it glow at night. Well, I've lived in a lot of places where there were fires. I grew up in Northern California. There's always fires. And there was always people making sandwiches for the firefighters. And those bros were fit. I remember actually being a real little girl, and Mom had to go to an appointment at this hospital. Same hospital where you had Jerry, my brother. Same hospital my dad was born in. And I walked past this guy, and he had like a hard hat on and like a forestry shirt on. You could tell this guy, like, he didn't match the other guys, you know. And I was young. I was very young. I was probably 3 years old. I have my memory retains a lot. And so, and especially when it's stuff that makes you go, guh. And that guy made me go, guh, because of his foot. He had hit his foot. He didn't have a steel-toed boots on either. Because they just they've been taking kids from like the youth authority, the youth CYA, like juvenile delinquent centers, stuff like that, and then they pull them out of their beds. The only thing I ever done is gangbang. They don't know how to swing an axe. They don't know about physics. They know how to shoot guns and sell drugs, and then they say, okay, go out there, go put out fires. And then these guys hurt themselves. Sometimes they do it on purpose so they don't have to go back and do that work. Oftentimes they don't. And so, and so like this guy, like because I was putting it all together because he had handcuffs on, and then I overheard that they were talking to the nurse, that the sheriff, he was like, oh, he probably did it to himself. And this kid is just like, he was like, no, he did not do that to himself to get out of work. Like, because that's what people that would do that to get out of work, they're like, that they accuse people of stuff that they would do themselves. I wouldn't do that. I have burned myself, though. I was never a cutter. But we're just spiritual beings having a human experience. So, anyway. So I've had a lot of trials and tribulations in life from the time that I was very young up until now. Well, last year, it's still hard. I got a bunch of old dogs, and it seems like they're racing to the Rainbow Bridge, seemingly. It's just another, chapter of life that has to come to an end. And when it was beginning, I thought of these years up ahead and knew it was going to be hard. Except that all the love that we have exchanged through the years, it's a no-brainer to me. So I went through a lot to keep my family together and keep my dogs. So every time any event happens and people leave their animals, I'm just like, we're not alike. We ain't a lot alike. Because I'm not one of those people that can leave my dogs. What do you want? Where you going? It's getting so cool. So we're supposed to I got notice that the heater came in the mail, delivered, and it got delivered yesterday. Nice. And then so I go down to the post office to pick it up, and there was a yellow thing in there, and so I went to the window, and the guy came and brought me back this little box, and I was like, okay, thanks. And I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't the heater. And I opened it up, and it was the gas canisters for these heaters that I'm gonna try out to give to travelers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm testing them out. So these are the beta. So these are the gas canisters.
Oh.
And then I got these. These are the smallest, most compact. These are like $25. And it's just real simple. You just got an on and off valve. Screws in.
Very nice.
I'm not gonna do this in here. Good boy, Benny. Busting in, Benny.
Hi, boy.
And then, so for travelers, hobos, stuff like that. And then they can cook their food, make their coffee, do whatever. Give fucking people shit that they can use, man. There's so much money. Like, dude, people are so stingy. I can't even believe how selfish people are. That's why this country's going down to fucking shit. Because there's so many people out here that are like, they don't know how to take care of themselves. A, because they were always taken care of and never taught how to take care of themselves. Or B, that they fucking didn't have, they had to figure it out. They didn't make good choices. I didn't make good choices for a lot of years. I had to figure it out. I guess I just was better at masking. And then I got to a point that I'm like, fuck it. I'm not gonna live like that anymore. I'm already not gonna get my way because they don't feel like giving me what I need, like running water or whatever. Like, for whatever reason, they look at me and says, this bitch doesn't deserve to freaking give her, make it easy to wash your mom's hair. No, she should have to wash her mom's hair in the backyard. That's what she should and that's so they put me in positions where I have to do these things, and it's all stuff that I've just had to let go. Yet I made myself those things that this country always said, this is what you need to do, and then you will always be taken care of. In my whole life, I'm like, it doesn't pan out. It doesn't pan out. No, it's just to get the people in the offices. It's to get them paid. Whatever the office is, the organization is, it's for them to get paid. It doesn't trickle down. It trickled down. It is not trickled down since that Reagan economics way back yesteryear. They kept taking all these budgets for our own good and putting them where their special interests serve themselves so they could become richer and richer. But it doesn't help people. Does nothing for people collectively, and that is a cancer that has grown to a point where it's not, I know that other people are like living in other parts of the country and other parts of the country are not having problems, like America is. It trickles out. What happens here affects everybody else, so life on planet Earth, and wait till the real weird shit starts happening. Land masses start coming out of the ocean, and new maps and stuff like that. But I always imagine that we just live in a snow globe anyway. I have different perceptions as most people that I've ever come across, and we move around so much, and I keep looking for people that think like me. Everywhere I go out and I do all the fun things, and I think I'm going to find people that are like me because I'm doing things with so many groups of people, and then I hang out with and I'm like, no, we're not. They got their own stuff, and my ideas aren't really welcome because I'm the one that's like, hey, that's not fair. How come this pile of people over here get so much and these people get nothing? And so now all these people, God, so much devastation and loss. It just, I thank them for their service, because when people go collectively, like 9/11, done to America by America. When they do these things, it's like life, it's like soul packs, like sending all that wave of love because they all chose to go at the same time. It just sucks that there's so many greedy old crotchety LD bastards that are freaking like to cause so much harm and so much destruction. And they don't like to create things. It's just, these are the things that have to happen to get people to stand up for something that they believe in. I'm good. I've been standing up for shit I believe in my whole entire life. I'm good. Like, I'm tired. Like, more people stood up against shit like ever since I was a little kid, I'd be like I'd call out old men fucking for having bad eyes, I know who the fucking creepy dudes are, and I know who the chicks are that are gonna freaking lead you to the creepy dudes, because they want to make the creepy dudes happy. World's a gross place. It's real nice that so many people got to, live in a bubble like that. They got to live in, they didn't get to know people that they didn't have to know. They didn't get the opportunity to know people that, like, God, I keep thinking about this lady, Aunt Jackie. It was this chick I went to high school with. It was her aunt. And she was a party girl, She liked to drink and go on adventures and go off with whoever. And we lived up in Redding, California. It's a dangerous place. People will take you, do whatever they want with you, throw you away. Maybe they'll find you, maybe they won't. And so I recognized her on the news one day because they put her on the news on the slab. and asked the public if you knew who could you, and that was a friend of mine's aunt, could you, and they kept saying, hey, it looks like Jackie, and then they're like, oh shit, and it was, and it was some dude that was done with her and threw her away, and she cracked her skull open, and it's just people don't care about and value life. They just want to go have fun, play, and the consequences will cost you. And unfortunately, the can has been open, and that has also been foreseeable. And that because when one person has to do something, and then it like gives the permission of the people that are the same vibrational frequency, the like attracts like, it like gives them permission to do whatever they feel to do that's necessary, that they feel in line with said individual. And so now we're in the era of all these wackadoo vigilantes, and all these people are going to do terrible things on purpose, and they're going to cause a lot of harm to a lot of people and a lot of animals, and it's going to add more of a freaking shadow into the atmosphere. That's where you got to look for the grace. That's where you got to look for the, that you can see, because no organization out there is going to help any community collectively. As people are understanding, North Carolina, they're figuring it out. They're figuring it out, what the people in Katrina figured out, what the people in Michael figured out, that the people in Sandy figured out, that the people in Paradise, California, like I said back in 2022, what was it, 391,000 acres burned here in New Mexico because some United States federal guy that has his badge in his truck went out on a windy day to do a intentional burn that got out of hand. I mean, like, they don't care. And they don't get in trouble. What, did the guy get a write-up? Did he lose his job? Like, what happened to the guy? That person that nothing, because there's no fucking consequence. And it's like, no, because they're too busy giving the consequences to people like me, making examples out of people like me who already have a hard enough fucking life. But why not make it harder for people that it's already really fucking hard for? And, that puts karma out there. So here we go. The people that have made it possible, because, what goes around comes around. I don't know. It's been coming around me my whole life. So I don't even know what it is that I do. I just keep trying to do the right thing in every situation. Pastor Marge, the salty pastor, Just try not to freaking cause too many problems. I'm way more bigger on solutions out there. Oh man, like I went to the market today and it was like 3:00 in the afternoon. I went to one restaurant to get dinner for later, and I wasn't feeling the vibe of the food on, and so I just left. And then so I went, and that's why I said I'm just gonna go to Chaloops and go up that route, go get a couple things at the market that way. And they didn't have, I went there for chicken Alfredo and they didn't have it, so that's kind of a bummer. But oh well. There's always backup options. And there's just a lot of people out, and I just don't really like people a whole lot. And I've been going, I need to make nice with the evening crew, because I know all the daytime people. I need to make nice, and so I have like safe faces of people when if I get overstimulated, I can go check in and looking on, and see how they're doing in their life and things like that. That's how I get through things, is I have people that I feel comfortable with, and I go find them, and okay, so how is that thing going on in your life that was happening in the last time that we talked? Where is that going? That's how you build community. And a lot of people don't really, I guess, have time. But things are changing so much. I mean, the earth is changing. I just keep imagining it how I want to see it. You know, how there's enough for everybody. You give people enough to live on where they don't have, and so they can do what they want and not what they have to do. The whole planet will thrive. And we all know that there's enough. You know, they're these greedy dudes in these multi-$1,000 suits that have these ideas. They've created reality, and the rest of us aren't on board with this reality that they're creating. We're not okay with it. But they're taking all of our resources to support their ideology. It's like these group of old rich dudes that give themselves ribbons and buttons and tell themselves they're great men for all the harm that they've caused. They're playing Risk or Stratego, one of those two games, with planet Earth. And they're creating a lot of okay, we're going to wipe LA off. Okay, now who's going to get that land? Okay, we'll give you this. Look at what they're doing right now. They're trying to change. I've been talking about it for almost a decade, how the maps are going to change. Like territories are going to change in a big way. Lands are going to change. You know, the world is changing. It's never going to be what it was. So, and you still got the groups that are hanging on for dear life. You know, they're still going to go out to that parade and celebrate the 4th of July. I'm like, dude, Uncle Sam's a fraud. You're celebrating a fraud. We never had any reason to go over there and kill anybody in the name of freedom and democracy. It's stupid that people even... I used to buy into it too until I saw firsthand what it really was. And I vowed to forever tell people, dude, it's a lot of fucking dudes going over there and cheating on their wives. Yeah. And it's not even other chicks that are in the military. Because there's something called gay while away that's a pretty predominant thing. What? Yeah. It's a whole culture thing. So... people are going to go ahead and believe what they want to believe. I just have experienced so much. All this life that I've experienced that people have just said, Marge, just let it go. Let it go, Marge. Don't let it make you angry. Don't carry it around. Don't have hate in your heart. They've never tried to do anything to alleviate any of my angst. They're just saying... let it go. People that have never gone through a tip of the iceberg of shit that I've been through, still just let it go. Now they're all fucking losing everything. You know, in their 50s, 60s, 70s and having things happen. And it's like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And I'm like, oh, wow, you had a really good run. You had a really long time if you're that old. And this is the worst thing that has ever happened to you. Because I think the worst thing that ever happened to me, I was 10 months old. And my hip still pops. And terrible things just continually happen, you know, over the course of my life. And there was no system there to save me. There was no man. I had no father. I had no male role model to that I could look up to, that I could deem as a protector. So I went down this course of life where I had to learn how to protect my fucking self. And I recommend that other people learn how to do it too, because this world is heading into its own sort of dark age. You want down, Bitty Bud? You want to go outside?
You need to get some fresh air.
Here, I'm going to just go over here. He's going to try and come down here. I'm just going to... Come here.
Oh.
Come on. Watch out.
Oh,
Watch
wow.
out. Keep them level. That's the trick. You got to keep them level.
Oh, you did.
Okay.
There.
I'll be right back. Good thing I'm listening to classical. I might get riled up.
Oh.
What do you want? You going to go out there? Because I'm closing the store, sir. What are you doing? Being weird. You seeing the spirits? okay. He just like he just smells things, you know.
Yeah.
He's always has. He used to sit. When I lived in Omaha. There was this like 120-foot oak tree in the backyard, in the corner, in the neighbor's yard, but we got the benefit of it. And he would just sit in the backyard and look. This was my house in Omaha. It was a sweet house. It was cute. And then like the city stuff started coming in. It was like that room on Toys where they kept coming in and making it smaller so that they could make the war. Go watch the Robin Williams movies, Toys. Robin Williams back in the 93, 92 it came out. What are you doing, little dog? It's like, I don't know. It's very poignant to what's going on because we create future with present based on past. And so people collectively with their trash minds, me included, because I'm a part of it, you know, I just try to make places, wherever I go, I try and make a place better than it is before it was. Whether, like, I'm at the restaurant today, and this guy was there eating, and he was done. I think he was there like a single dad or something. And he just put all of his garbage on top. And like, he bust his own table, but like he left. And I separated the trash and piled it nice and stuff like that.
That was nice.
Well, I worked in restaurants. I was a busser, so I'm waiting for my food. I'm just trying to stay busy, kind of thing, you know. Come on, bud. You want to go outside? Come on. You want to go outside? Go outside? Go ahead. Go on. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go on. Tuck. Come on. You want to go outside? Go ahead. Tucker used to just sit and stare at that big old oak tree in the backyard for hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because, well, there'd be like raccoons and possums and stuff. He's the hunter dog. He's the most beagly beagle I got.
Oh, well.
You know? The other ones are just like, I could care less.
Yeah, how happy.
Yeah, so now a lot of other people are getting to figure out how to just let stuff go. Just let it go. Just, you know, just let it go.
Let it go.
So much let it go. But they're not going to let it go as God. Because I've been meditating for a long time. It's taken me a long time how to do the good practices and disciplines on how to navigate through life instead of the really unhealthy ones like drinking and all that stuff. And it's, you know, oh, my glasses just landed in my glass. That's kind of funny. Let me put those away. I don't know. I went back. Mom and I have been watching Roseanne lately. Going back and watching the old ones. And I guess I'm remembering why I didn't watch like the last couple seasons, because they always lose me. They get real popular and they go right into ego, and then I get separated from them, and that's, I mean, it's like how it kind of goes off the rails. And I think it's weird how from the first part to the second part before they killed her off, like Jackie has a kid, but it's never acknowledged in the second part. I'm looking for Tucker. I got a camera at the front door, so I just wait for him to come back. Ooh, what's that bright light? What's that bright light? That was kind of weird. I'm always looking. You can't see much sky from where we are. I went out and took pictures of the moon and stuff.
Oh, I think that
It's
was-
Friday. Like, people are getting unhinged, and the astrologers are coming into alignment and agreement with these energetic potentials, and then I go out and see how people match this stuff. That's why I try to mix it up. It's OPSEC. You never go out the same time. You don't do the same pattern. You don't give people an opportunity to learn your patterns. Theoretically. That's the goal. That's what they teach you. But that was I was in a every I don't know, every time management changes, the spirit of an organization changes or a town changes. Like, I stopped getting brokenhearted about towns and places. I stopped tying emotional attachment to towns a long time ago, because I figured out, like, when I left in 2000 to go to MEPS, I also left in the 90s to move to Sacramento to get my life on track, because I drank too much and made poor choices. And so I'd take geographies, go from here to there, and things will be different. Then I just behave the same way that I did in the place before, so the outcomes would always end up the same. And so I learned, though, when you leave a place, when you leave a town, as soon as you leave that town, it starts going through a evolutionary process where it starts evolving, and it starts evolving away from something that you knew as you last saw it. And so, like, my hometown, I don't have any hometown. I have no place that it's silly. And people have such allegiance and loyalty to geographic locations when they know, based on history. I failed history because I always had the mentality and attitude that went with it, that history was based on the rich people that had enough money to cause harm to the other groups and take their shit, and then they paid the presses to tell the world their version of how it went. And that's what history is, essentially. And then this, in this part of the country, it's based on this story, and over here it's based on this story, so it creates all this division. There goes Tuck. Because they're like, no, it's like this, and because the book said it's like this, and this group over here is like, no, it's like this, and it's like, dude, what's it like in your own community? What's your homeless population like? How are your elders treated? What's the how much does the CEO of your electric company make? Does he make $300,000 a year when there's only 6,000 people in the whole city, and people like me? I mean, this place is fucking, like, I've done walkthroughs. It's like less than 500 feet. My electricity bill is $250 a month. Like, because they bill people on necessity, like demand. It's like their equation is so stupid, but it profits them and it benefits them. It doesn't help the people that are just trying to get by. And then I go to the post office, and the employees just aren't that smart, so I don't know where your heater is. Like, why was it closed yesterday? And then I was like, because that fucking dude died. Politicians are overpaid actors. That's what they are. Congress sessions are episodes. Dun dun dun. What favor? Whose favor will? They're all made up reindeer games. Like police and firemen, stuff like that. They're just regular people. They just put on outfits, and then sometimes they do things to act like people that like do things like put out fires. Like policemen used to act like people that like would stop crime. They don't stop crime. They're basically extravagant maids that are there to freaking call the cleaners to have people to clean up the freaking whatever DNA is left on the sidewalk or whatever. I live in New Mexico, man. People, daylight, darkness, it don't matter. You go out, you're risking your life. And that is what the world is today. Because that's how people choose to behave with their free will. Because they don't have healthy practices and disciplines. They don't do things to ease themselves. They do things to make themselves feel better, but those things rot their brain cells and make them stupid and do stupid things and tune in to demons and frequencies that, oh, I hear voices. Everybody is intuitive. Most people just do things to drown out or ignore the intuition. And as the planet ascends and evolves, us on it are ascending and evolving, and we are only getting more sensitive. So if you do not find healthy disciplines and practices, then the likelihood of you losing your shit becomes a lot higher. He has his little route, so he went down the little hill, so now I'm just waiting for him to come up the hill, and then I'll go meet him at the door. So why is this? It's super cold where I live. Super frigid cold. Super frigid cold. So there are ways that you can learn how to cope in life through traumatic event after traumatic event, and just learn to roll and go with the punches. And what people are missing, a predominant something that people really need to learn to do, is when your fucking world is falling apart, like you lost it, and more people are going to feel like what it's going to feel like to lose everything. It's just the story of life. It's just how life goes, as they've always told me. And so as these people go through these situations where they learn about these stories of life and these things that are just going to build character, you take with you, do things for other people. You know, there's always people that have it worse off with every terrible situation that has ever happened. And those are the people that I'm looking for, that I'm always trying to make feel better. So now what's going to happen, the after effects of what's going to happen. Now you're going to have this homeless population that are going to show all these other people, you know, like, hey, well, like, this is how, so like the cities are going to have to provide sanitary, because it's going to cause such a mess, you know, because a lot of people aren't going to leave their land, and it's a trickle down effect, you know. Either people build up society, or they take away from society. And America is taken away from society for so long that it can't even sustain itself. I mean, the stories that are coming out there, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've lived here 4 years in New Mexico. They have, like, on the fire hydrants here, they have plastics, they have plastic bags over them and duct tape. So that's just how they do it in Taos, New Mexico. So I don't know how other deem themselves authority. Doesn't mean that they have good ideas. It means that they've followed a curriculum and read a book that told them that under these circumstances that you should do this. But every time that a freaking shit hits the fan, people aren't, you know, they're not really versed with it. Because they're the people that are making decisions. They're usually in the positions where they're making the decisions based on who they are and who they know, not what they know. So then you have the mayor that comes off the plane off vacation, and this guy's like, so, you know, what do you have to say for yourself? And she's just disassociated, like she was catatonic, like she had nothing to say, because she you know, this wasn't in the mayor handbook. So, you know, and these people aren't qualified, and so all of us that are qualified, you know, to handle emergency situations, you know, all of us at the bottom are the reason why we went through all the hell is it's gonna pan out now. It's gonna come to, oh yeah, because I've had experience here in life, and I've had experience about that, and And I've lived through this, and I know how to do that because this was hell that time, and I can handle this problem because, you know, nobody would help us that time the car broke down here or there or here or there or there. So what did I learn how to do? I learned how to become a maintainer that essentially can fix anything on any kind of system. I can deal with freaking like mechanical stuff. It's people that flip their